Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host for the Eating Ferrari Net 94 here for Tier 3 of BRL's F1 Championships at Vietnam, specifically the Hanoi Street Circuit. The first visit to this venue for BRL is this weekend. Already had a couple of races here. Was a little bit chaotic in Tier 5, Tier 1 less so. Expecting a lot more chaos to come. Tier 2 was also a bit chaotic, but expecting a lot more chaos at this track to continue tonight. We have, it looks like, 14 drivers contesting this race tonight. 28 laps around this very tight, very technical street circuit that features several monstrous straights, two of which can be seen right there if you're seeing that camera shot that I'm seeing down the end of Sector 1 and through Sector 2, and then another one down the front straightaway here at the start-finish line. All three featuring a DRS zone, and all three going into a very, very slow, sharp corner. Once again, joining me in the booth, we have I'm Toxin, also known as Toxin on Fire, or to all of us here at BRL, simply known as Toxin. Toxin, how you doing this evening, buddy? Yeah, the man almost missed the start of qualifying because he was catching a dub on a Warzone game. But he's so no naughty flat for you today. And we're just kind of sat here pinwheeling, waiting for somebody to pick their tire strategy. There we go. So we're going to load in here. 14 cars on a very tight track. Big thing about this track is Sector 3 is very tight and very technical, and a huge contrast to the first two sectors of the track. I was obviously in the Tier 1 race on Saturday night, and in practicing for that, racing with guys like Hoopalicious and B-Dunk, they were running lower downforce than I was, and down the straightaway they caught me up a little bit, but through Sector 3 they just absolutely, they even said this, that I just disappeared through Sector 3 because I was running more downforce. So, getting into qualifying here, looks to be dry to start things off. Always a good sign because street circuits, especially new ones with fresh asphalt, very slick in the wet because the sealant on the asphalt has not washed away yet, not been worn away like you see at some older tracks, like say Monaco or at even Sochi at this point. So when it gets wet, it gets very, very slick. Pull everything up here. All right. So here we see heading out onto the track. Second car out is Groggy Oregano 16, who was the first. It's going to be the McLaren of Silkweaver. So Silkweaver trying to get an early jump on things. Currently going through that second very tricky roundabout corner at the end of or at the start of the second sector. Very easy to get the exit of that one wrong and slap the wall and possibly even ping-pong across into the other one and break the entire wing off or knock a tire off there. So, be very interesting to see how these Tier 3 drivers tackle that section of the racetrack. Watching him as he comes down into the hairpin, 200 miles an hour down to about 40 for that hairpin in the space of about 120 meters. Very quick deceleration, very big opportunity for a big accident. And then here we come in Tier 3. We're going very slow as the walls are right up against the white lines, and the track changes direction constantly around here. So you really, in this third sector, you do not get a break. We're going to ride along with the McLaren as he does his first qualifying lap, taking it very easy up to the penultimate corner. This corner was actually added before the finalization of the track plan. It used to be a sweeper that followed the pit lane entry a lot closer, and then more or less turn that final corner into a hairpin instead of a 90-degree left. Down to turn 1, very, very big acceleration zone. Second gear, ride that curb a little bit in turn 2. A lot of partial throttle up to turn 3 and turn 4, and then again riding the curb at turn 4 through turn 5 onto the second DRS straight, and then Vector takes 1, not a bad time, braking at about the 100-meter board, trying to take as much curb as you can at second chicane. into this, not getting it out too wide, cutting back for the exit onto the longest straight of the track. This straightaway is just massive. And right there, DRS kicks in. So you get even more speed down the straightaway. You can see there on the steering wheel, 33 kilometers per hour. That is just bang on 200 miles an hour. Good clean acceleration out of the hairpin coming up to start sector 3. It's a good entrance and exit through the first corner, and now here comes the roller coaster, as I call it. Not getting on the curves a lot through that sector, but still a pretty clean lap for the McLaren. A little bit of a lock up there in that penultimate corner. Taps the wall just a hair. Lifts off of the final corner. And a 35.8 is the time to beat right now from the McLaren of Silk River. What does Groggy have behind him? Big lock up there into the penultimate corner for the Renault. What's he going to do? A 146. So, wow, he had a problem somewhere in there. His teammate Loki, however, does a much better lap on the medium tire, actually, and was second. Now, next, Guido 7 has gone to second with a 136.4, so only about 0.6 off of Silk Weaver. The soft tire around this place over one lap is a huge advantage in pace. It's over 1.5 seconds quicker than the medium over one lap. As now Overlord on the soft tire jumps to the top in the Red Bull with a 134.168. So Overlord really out here flexing his muscle early with that first lap. Very good first effort there from the Red Bull driver. Looks like Fluky has put in a lap as well in the AlphaTauri at a 137.1, and he's actually missing a bit of wing, so he caught the wall somewhere on his lap. That will not have been helping his efforts. It looks like Joe's already out of the session, actually. A little bit odd there, didn't see what happened, and ooh, just caught Marlon tagging the wall on the exit of the final corner to start his lap. That will not help his run down the front straightaway at all. Looks like we got the other Red Bull of DaCosta Browns on a fast lap coming through sector 3 here. We'll stay with him as he finishes this lap and see what the Red Bull can do. Can he get anywhere near the time his teammate set? He's over 1.7 seconds clear of second place. Where does the second Red Bull slot in? Second place with a 135.6, so it's a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment, but still a lot of time to play with left in this session with 12 minutes to go. Looks like Taylor has just started his lap. Taylor has been the guy to beat, more or less, these first couple of weeks in this series. That Mercedes looking very planned. Got a bit of slower traffic in front of one of the Renaults. They're going to get out of the way here. Down this straightaway, and also the racing point of Max Facetis is off to the side of the track there. Or was that? Yeah, that's Facetis because Buchler's in the pits. Taylor goes purple sector 1. Cutting across the chicane there, a little bit cheeky. The game doesn't really penalize you for doing that. Be interesting to see how many guys are doing that during the race. You are not allowed to exceed track limits and gain an advantage, even if the game does not punish it, as per Rule 1.4.1 of the BRL rulebook. So during the race, that would probably be a little bit more closely watched. But over one lap, it's very easy to do that and it not invalidate it. It's advantageous, obviously, taking a shorter line, but you still got to keep it legal. So Taylor goes purple in sector 2 as well, so he is fast-tracking his way to the top of the timesheet here. Coming through sector 3, looking very quick through that very narrow section to start it off. Nice and wide, right out to the curb, keeps it tight up to 22. A little bit of a lockout. Everybody just locks that inside tire there just a little bit. Not quite all the way up the wall on the exit. Around the final corner he comes, tags the outside wall. 134.0, so he goes to the top by about 1/10 of a second and a little bit of change. So good effort from Taylor to put himself up at the top of the order. Still got 4 drivers who have not set a lap, and Joe electing to, I'm guessing electing to not partake in qualifying. And to just start from the back of the grid, possibly, is he possibly expecting some carnage at the start there, Toxin? tell me about it. I almost got spun out 2 times in the first 3 corners by guys cutting across my nose there, so it's very easy to do in that tight opening section of the track. You can get a really good start and get around the outside of some people at turn 1, but then when they try to cut back, it can backfire pretty big. So Weiser Square in the Williams has actually jumped up to 4th place on the medium tire with a 135.869, doing very well right there to get ahead of guys on the softer tires. So it looks like Loki, Guido, and Weiser have all gone out and done a lap on the medium tire, as well as Marlin. Marlin languishing down, last guy with a lap set at a 138.0 right now. That's kind of the story of this racetrack this week, has been just pace disparity from top to bottom. It kind of just seems to me that at this particular racetrack, just because how it is, that you are either quick or you are nowhere. So we got those guys doing 34s, 35s, and then there's kind of a drop-off, a little more gradual in this particular grouping of drivers than I've seen elsewhere, but like Tier 1, I know for a fact, I can actually go ahead and look at this, but the top 15 drivers are covered by 2 seconds. And it's the average disparity in the time trials between the top, all the drivers that qualified for Tier 1 was 9/10 of a second. So well over double the average disparity in time between 1st and 20th in Tier 1, even though we only had 16 drivers show up on Friday. So this track, I think, exacerbates pace differences in drivers. I, for one, had huge amounts of trouble as Max Guido actually jumps up to 3rd place in the Ferrari with a 134.8, so good job by him. He's kind of an island in the sea right now between 2nd and 4th. Oh, he gets very sideways there coming through turn 2. Almost lost the car. That wouldn't have done him any favors. As it looks like the Costa Browns is out on an out lap. Looks like Overlord's out on a 2nd flying lap. He's coming down to the hairpin. He's a 10th up on his best time already, so that would put him even with Taylor. Coming out of the hairpin, gets on that exit curb, very clean exit. Doing a lot better than I did out of the hairpin. Hairpin was one of my weak points. So he's lost just a hair through that 2nd sector, down to 86 thousandths better. Coming through Sector 3, what does that Red Bull have? It's got a very short wheelbase, makes it very good around here. Not running too wide, straddles that curb just a little bit. No lock up there, very smooth to the penultimate corner. Down to the final turn, a little bit of lift. Onto the front straightaway, tags the wall like everybody just seems to be doing. And what does he do? He does what happened there? I guess he didn't improve. I did not see the lap time, so I'm guessing he didn't improve because the lap time he had didn't change. Looking back at DeCosta Browns coming down the long back straightaway in the other Red Bull. Let's see what he can do. Can he improve his time at all? And can he get a little bit higher up? Can he get possibly back in front of Max Guido? And also Max Face Taste has now jumped up to 3rd place in the Racing Point. So the Pink Panther doing very good. The man who won round 1 in Australia in the wet, actually in changing conditions, doing extremely well here at Vietnam. DeCosta coming through Sector 3 here. Oh, he made a mistake right there. And he has very good job from the McLaren. Yeah, DeCosta broke the front wing there in Sector 3, which would explain why he ran so wide right there, I guess. So that lap abandoned. 5 minutes remaining in the session. This is what it. Yep, I believe Weiser is on a flyer, and he is on the medium tire, so he is planning on starting on that medium tire in the Williams, just a little bit down on his previous time. So not looking too good for an improvement. I think he's just putting more laps on that tire. He's actually invalidated it already, so that is not going to help his efforts at all. Groggy right behind him on the track in the Renault. Let's see what he can do to haul himself up out of 10th place right now. His teammates out qualifying him on a harder tire right at this moment. A little bit oversteer out of the left-hander after the hairpin. And he is 1.2 seconds up on his best time. A little bit of lockup there into sector 3. What can the Renault driver do? Not keeping it very close to the walls through sector 3. Taking a pretty cautious approach to it. Very jerky steering inputs. Locks up that front tire again. The penultimate corner booster goes to a 145.2 as Groggy slaps the wall hard. Gets in front of his teammate by about half a second, but still probably not where he's wanting to be in the pecking order, considering the disparity between the medium and soft tires at this particular track. Fellas out there, we're still rolling through qualifying. About 2 minutes 30 seconds left to go. All 32 of you. So thank you for tuning in for Tier 3 here at Vietnam BRL. We appreciate you guys a lot, and we're glad to have you here. For those of you who did not catch the start of the stream, once again, I am FerrariNet94, joined in the booth by I Am Toxin on Fire, or just simply Toxin if you know him. Once again here, Deer Hunter, normal Tier 3 commentator, not able to join us tonight, taking care of some family stuff. We wish him and his family the best during this trying time, so good luck to you, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you back at this next week, okay? Indeed, Possum not had the best of luck these first 2 weeks, and all of a sudden the viewer count just jumped up to 41. So hi guys. A little bit late to the party, some of you, but we're glad to have you nonetheless. As Guido jumps face test to put himself into P4 on the grid, and the top two, Overlord and Taylor, are both on outlaps. So Overlord is behind his teammate. Is he maybe going to try and get a little bit of a cheeky toe down that long straight from his teammate? That would help him an absolute ton. Taylor does not have that luxury in the Mercedes. He does not have a teammate here. So that is going to hurt him a lot down that straightaway if he doesn't have somebody to give him a tow. Taylor's going to be the first one to get to the line. This is going to be the fight for pole right here. A minute left in the session. This is, you run what you brung at this point. You're locked into your setup. You've picked your tires. You're on the track. If you're not out there now, you're done. So Silk Weaver, Livid, and Groggy, they're all done. And Mullen. So you're going to stay on with Overlord. I'm going to stay on with Taylor. And we'll see what their times are come the first sector split. Taylor running very cleanly through sector 1. Riding those curves, getting right out next to the walls, doing exactly what he needs to. Coming down this second long DRS straight here. What can he do in that Mercedes? It's a 25.324. A tenth and a half up on his best time right now. Oh, he ran a little bit deep into that chicane at the second roundabout. Gets a good exit from the roundabout, though. So can he make up for that mistake at the chicane? We're going to break away from Taylor here for a second because I can see Overlord just behind his teammate coming out of that roundabout. And no! DaCosta is not going to give him a tow. Unbelievable. The Red Bulls not giving each other a tow here. Wow. So Taylor missed his second sector split there, but he is purple through sector 2, so he improved again on that sector. This is going to be a 33 something. Very clean through sector 3. No lockup, no even hint of a lockup there. Right out to the wall, just barely touching it. Doesn't even hit the wall off the final corner. 33.4 for Taylor. He is on top. What can Overlord do in response to that? And Overlord gets him with a 33.3. So Overlord starts on pole in Vietnam. Taylor just behind with a 33.4. And then the next car behind is a full second down on them. These two are absolutely flying around this place. And everybody else is just kind of helpless and just sitting there watching. So folks, there you have it. That is qualifying over, done, and dusted. Overlord takes pole, Taylor second, Silkweaver third, Guido 7 in fourth, Face Test in fifth, Livid Opossum in sixth, Boostler in seventh, DaCosta in eighth, Marlin in ninth, Weiser in 10th, Groggy Oregano in 11th, Loki in 12th, Fluky Flower in 13th, and Joe, who did not partake in qualifying, in 14th and last. So now we're just waiting for that session timer to run out. Got about 55 seconds left. So everybody take a nice big breather, run to the bathroom, do that last little comfort break you need before the race starts, because as soon as we come back, it's on, folks, and this is gonna be nuts. All right, folks, and we are back here in Hanoi. Mex Andrew in the second Ferrari has joined at the back of the grid. And hold on, folks, I'm going to make a slight adjustment. Alrighty. Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Maverick, is that better? Apparently it wasn't quite loud enough. Despite the fact I feel like I'm straight up yelling into the mic. Anyway, so, waiting on everybody to ready up here. Formation lap is going to be underway here. Once again, your starting grid for this race is going to be I Overlord, Taylor Clan 2008, Silkweaver, Mex Guido, Mex Face Taste, Livid Opossum, Boostler, DaCosta Browns, Mad Marlin, Weiser Square, Groggy Oregano, Non-Rive Loki, Fluky Flower, SSR Joe, and Mex Andrew GP. Testing, testing, testing. Headset shut off for a second there. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. All right, Toxin, are you there?
I have returned.
Now, Maverick is telling me that it's quiet, and I just turned the stream on my phone, and it sounds fine to me. So I don't know what he's talking about there, but it sounds perfectly fine to me. I can hear myself. Sector 3, I'm going to run a few little quick checks just to make sure that we've got the audio levels right. That has been a problem that I've noticed watching back the stream, that you know, the engine noise can sometimes drown out the commentators a little bit.
As everybody comes to the line here out of the formation lap, you know, I'm actually intrigued here. Nobody's starting on the hard compound. I wanted to see if someone was going to go for that strategy, maybe starting back there in 11th to 15th there, go to the hard to soft. I think it would have been a good strategy to go for, but I know with the possible safety cars, it would be a bad call. Looking forward to seeing what the people can do here on the mediums, though.
All right,
red
everybody
lights.
lined up. And away we go in Vietnam. Overlord getting a good start there. Okay, I was fixed to say, why did it change? Weird game glitch there. So, what happened to Taylor? He did not get a good start at all. He's down to 7th already. Make that
looks like he got some
heavy
around the outside
there. I would say so. He dropped 5 positions on that start. Made up one of them around the next face stage there at the start. And everybody pretty much single file all the way back to Face Taste and Marlin down to the second. And here comes DaCosta Browns. A little bit of contact there. Looks like Groggy may have busted. Yep, he busted the wing on the side of Face Taste's car. Wow, DaCosta just absolutely sent it off in there behind Marlin to get around Face Taste and made it stick. That's the thing. He made that work. So props to him. But that was great. So everybody looking pretty clean. Got a little bit of action here between Guido and Taylor. Taylor already trying to make up those positions he lost at the start. And why not? He was a second quicker than everybody ahead of him except for Overlord in qualifying. Got just the worst possible start he could and dropped down to 7th. He's already back up to 4th, so he's already gotten back around several cars, including Face Taste, Marlin, I believe. Well, no, maybe not Marlin. A little bit hard to judge who he passed and who he didn't there. Oh, so Joe's Xbox crashed during qualifying, and that is why he did not take qualifying. Got a couple of guys in the pits, including Groggy and Weiser Square.
And Face Taste, unfortunate for him.
Oof, yeah, unfortunate for all those guys. Those 3 will drop to the back. It's interesting to see what tires they put on. Looks like Face Taste is going for the medium and a wing change. Same thing for Groggy. Weiser is going for, I believe, the hard tire, possibly. He is going for the hard tire, so he will be good to go to the end, although they will be looking pretty second-hand by the time he gets there. So those guys have got all the work to do, and Marlin's got some wing damage as well, pretty significant. He's missing the entire right-hand half of the wing. Fluky's got some end plate missing on the right side, looking back up through the field. Loki's also missing the left-hand end plate. Just doing a quick wing check on the entire field. Taylor's still got everything intact, so that's good for him. Livid is up to 3rd. The Livid Opossum is hanging around by his tail in 3rd right now. Oh, Silky, we're getting very sideways over the hairpin. A lot of wheel spin from the McLaren, but he keeps it together and keeps it out of the fence. Meanwhile, back up front, Overlord is just cruising along right now. Hang on just a second. Got to invite Joe back to the lobby. Anyways, continuing to look at that, Overlord stretching out the lead quite a bit there in the second lap. Get Overlord back in here, please. Or SSR Joe. Sorry. Yeah. So, end of lap 1. Coming on to the second DRS straight, Overlord is out to a 2-second lead over Silkweaver, and Taylor making a move on Live It Opossum for third already. So he is a man on a mission coming down to start Sector 2. Turn that off. I don't know where that got anyway, the Mercedes driver really pushing to try and make up for the mistake that he made at the start of the race. Closest battle on the track right now is going to be between the first two of the medium runners. So you got Loki and Mex Andrew in 8th and 9th. Andrew's got DRS coming down the back straightaway as Groggy picks up a 3-second time penalty. Andrew's going to get to the inside, coming to the hairpin, squeezing Loki against the wall. Very tight racing. Loki gets a little sideways on the exit of the hairpin, and Andrew is through and into 8th place. Now, can he get away and break that gap DRS to the Renault and keep that position next time around? Got some positions changing back here between Fluky and Joe's AI. We're trying to get Joe back in here as we speak. Very unfortunate. So Face Taste kind of cruising along right now in 12th place. Weiser and Groggy behind him, and Marlin having to run that extra lap with the broken wing. He's 10 seconds behind the next car, so really not having a good start to his day. He was doing so well up in 6th place to start that race, as now Fluky hits the pits to fix the wing damage he has been carrying. Oh, as we hop on board with Boostler, very sideways, and he caught it. Wow, that was some real work. If you think these guys aren't pushing, you got another thing coming around this place, because this place shows that they are just absolutely on the ragged edge. He almost had that thing backwards and in the fence. Fucking brilliant, excuse my language. That's the only adjective I can find to quantify what he just did. That was impressive.
Taylor Clan, actually, it's a great run. I didn't even see that, but he is going to actually jump Silkweaver P2 down the inside on the hairpin there.
Yeah, I saw the tail end of that, and I saw a little bit of tire smoke up ahead. And yeah, very clean move. He's locking that inside front on a lot of these corners, though, so he's got to be careful to not overheat that soft tire, as we've lost our gaps for a moment, so we'll have to wait till they get to the next split for it to cycle back around. Really got to love when it does that and we lose the time gaps, because now that he's in clear air, you can see as he locks up into the front corner very heavily, he is gaining on Overlord pretty significantly already, as is Silkweaver. The gap was over 2 seconds at the end of lap 1, and now it is only 1.7 seconds on lap 5. So, considering that he's had to pass people and then now he's in clear air, let's see what Taylor can do. Let's see how fast he can reel him in, if he can reel him in. Because the Mercedes driver seems to be supremely composed right here. They're all burning a lot of ERS, and Silkweaver is actually running the car pretty lean on fuel, it looks like. He's already got the fuel indicator on. See if anybody else is doing that strategy of running the car light. Doesn't look like it. So, coming down the back straightaway, Taylor's only made a couple tenths, but still, he's making inroads on the leader, and he's bringing Silkweaver with him a little bit because of the DRS. So, if Overlord's not careful, we could end up with a 3-car fight for the lead here as Taylor gets very sideways out of the hairpin, really pushing it. As Marlin, speaking of pushing it, gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He was coming through sector 1 through turns 1, 2, and 3 there. Probably ran wide on the outside of turns 2 and 3. Taylor has cut the gap now down to 1.4 seconds as they come to the end of the lap through Sector 3. He just appears to be so much more composed than the Red Bull in front of him. Look at that, it's already down to 1.2, and I just said it was 1.4 a second ago. Got a huge run through the final couple of corners. He's already broke DRS to Silkweaver behind him in the McLaren. Huge inroads on the race. He's not in DRS range yet, but it won't take long with that kind of pace for him to be. He might even be in DRS range this time around down this second straightaway. He is in DRS range now. If he can keep it, nope, couldn't quite hang it there. Not going to have DRS down this straightaway, but if he keeps that up for another lap or two, he will start making very quick inroads on that Red Bull in front of him.
Yeah, Taylor doing a great job reeling him in here. I noticed he's so much stronger in that third sector. I don't know if it's due to setup with the wings, but that third sector, he closed up a whole half a second, just looking incredible through there. On the straights, he's losing a little bit, but
he did, but man, is it working for him. Whatever he's done different is, without a doubt, his trump card right now. Really not even losing that much down the straightaways because the slipstream here is so powerful because you're going so long.
See if he can close the gap in here again.
If he can do the same thing he did last lap, this lap, he will of the car in front and have DRS, and that would be the nail in the coffin for Overlord because once he gets to him, I think he's just going to blow him off and leave him.
You can see how much ground he pulls in. Man.
Yeah, we can see the number, but the ground is another thing. And yeah, another half second. So pit window open for the hard tire strategy. And if you want, there is a possibility of pushing it to the mediums, but you are really pushing your luck there on tire wear and tire integrity for both those tires. So really only one viable tire strategy around here. Not the most fun tire strategy we've ever seen, but it's kind of what we're left with the tire compounds. So Taylor now well within DRS range, down to half a second. This is really the only close battle on the track. Everybody else is spread out pretty well. Looks like Face-Taste, nope, we got the guys making pit stops here. So Joe and Guido making pit stops. Guido gonna exit right next to Face-Taste, and on the outside of him, yields the position as he should, considering he was coming out of the pits. But he's going to be behind, but Face-Taste has got DRS. Looking back up to the front here, Taylor also has DRS on Overlord, not close enough to make a move down to the hairpin. He does coming into that
third sector as well.
He is.
Closest he's been so far.
He's going to be in the wake of the Red Bull. He's going to be in the wake of that car very much through this sector. How is that going to affect his ability to make time through this sector? Is it going to be worth trying to overcut the Red Bull? Because the soft tire, it falls off, but once it falls off, it stabilizes pretty quick. And the harder tires are not really that much quicker. We're up to 55 viewers. Thank you guys for joining us here for Tier 3 at Vietnam. This has been a pretty exciting race. Taylor lost some positions at the start, got all the way down to 7th. He's fought his way back up to be fighting with Overlord for the lead. This man is on a mission tonight, and he is not taking no for an answer from this guy. Also had a couple of guys down towards the back end of the grid have some trouble, knocked the wing off already. Pretty much everybody from 11th on back has already made at least one stop. Coming down the second straightaway here with DRS, Taylor going to be ever closing to that Red Bull in front of him. He's taking a peek, letting him know he's there. Into the chicane, over the curbs twice. Run it as wide as you like, keep it tight, get a little bit of clean nose. It's going to compromise his exit a little bit, but he's going to have a pretty decent run down the straight. Going to have DRS here in just a moment, and he's already closing up on him even before they get to see the move. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? What's the Red Bull going to do? Overlord goes defensive. Taylor's going to have to take the long way. They're into the braking zone. Taylor's going to get the outside, and he leaves him plenty of space on the inside, but that's going to give Taylor the momentum. And they're still side by side, actually, coming up to the start of Sector 3. Taylor's going to have the inside for this corner, and I think that is going to be game, set, match for the Red Bull. I think Taylor is going to just absolutely have everything his own way right here after that. Coming through the third sector, gap already almost out to a second, and Overlord actually jumps into the pits right at the start of the window. So Now we're going to see the chess match start. Taylor with the overcut, not probably as he intentioned, but Overlord jumping into the pits. Is he going to... Oh, he's going for a wing change. Overlord must have had some sort of wing damage because he's going for a wing change here. What on earth happened? Wow, very long pit stop from Red Bull. That is going to take him well back from the lead here. And Silkweaver, as well as Mex Andrew is going to be in front of Overlord on the pit exit, as Livid Opossum's actually right behind the Red Bull coming out now. Very, very much in front. Mex Andrew very much in front of the Red Bull, but still to stop. We have a yellow flag in Sector 3. Oh, we have a virtual safety car on the track. What has happened here? Fluky has smacked the wall somewhere. Hopefully Marlin is going to be able to get close enough we can see what happened.
Pit entry.
But he is in the pit. Yeah, he's on the pit entry. So what happened there? What on earth happened to Fluky on the pit entrance? Hopefully Marlin can get around so we can get a sight of where his car ended up and kind of dissect what happened here. Looks like... I don't know, did he turn in too soon and just nail that right-hand wall, or what happened there? And virtual safety car rescinded. Mex Andrew GP doing so well in third place, just got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. As Taylor gets a 5 seconds penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Taylor, with the race lead in hand, has just gotten himself a penalty. Come on, son. You had a nice lead. You didn't need to push it that much. That's something I never understand about some of these guys. As we see Mex Andrew come into the pits to either serve that drive-through or to make his pit stop. More than likely to either make it, I believe, to make his pit stop. This is the lap where we really start to see these medium runners duck in, because there's no advantage to them staying out on used medium tires at this point.
Absolutely, and the one thing I'm noticing here, somehow we didn't notice it right away, Overlord's back on the softs. He is going for the 2-stop. That may have threw the race away right there.
It may have, but here's the thing. Those tires are going to be very, very quick compared to the hard for several laps. If he can make inroads on Taylor here, then it may not entirely be lost, because he's only 6 seconds behind. If he can get around Taylor and pull a gap and then get onto a medium tire, he may have... It could be an IQ 200 move. But we'll have to see, because I don't know whether Taylor served that penalty or not. I didn't see whether he served that penalty in the pits. We got a yellow in Sector 1. As looks like Joe has, or Weiser Square has looped it around at turn 3. He's back going again. No damage to the front of the car, so very lucky for the Williams driver there. Not damage his car spinning out. That's a very, very easy place to do that. Silkweaver really pushing these soft tires. If he can go another couple of laps on these things, he's possibly going to go to the mediums, but he's going to be a long way behind Taylor. Taylor's only 13 seconds behind him, and the pit delta here is 19 seconds, and he is losing time all the time to the car behind him. Those softs have definitely seen better days around this track. Speaking of softs having seen better days, Overlord is now setting the fast lap of the race at 1:37.551. He has only closed a second down on Taylor that lap. So Taylor, very quick up to speed on the hards. So we will see how that works out, but I still think that Taylor's move of going to the hards is the way to go here. The game tells you can do a soft, medium, soft, and that is the quickest strategy, but it really just, it doesn't hold water, as it looks like actually Silkweaver is running on 0 ERS right now. So that is going to hurt him spectacularly down the straightaways.
And as you say that, Taylor does close a whole 8/10 right there, look like, in that sector alone.
So yeah, the McLaren leading the race, running on pretty much no ERS, really, really shows exactly how crucial that system is to the speed of the car around this track. he's lost well over, as he comes into the pits, finally, well over a second and a half on this lap alone. Locks it up big time coming over the pits. And Overlord has started to lose, I guess, a bit of the potency of those softs. So they have a pretty huge advantage for a lap or two, and after that, it goes away real quick.
Yeah, I was
You can still see
expecting
Taylor.
I was expecting him to probably get up to him with about 5 or so laps on those tires, have about 2 laps to try and create a gap, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough, having to go into the pits one more time.
I don't think it will be. It's just going to be too difficult for him with the amount of laps that are left. You got 16 laps left, which even that right now, if you were to go in right now, that is pushing the limits of what the mediums are going to be capable of with any sort of realistic pace. Obviously, longevity-wise, they'll go a little bit longer than that, but the pace will start to drop off. The usable life will hit 0 at 16 laps for those medium tires. So I think that Overlord has resigned himself to at the very least, probably third place finish. But we'll see what happens. Never know. We could end up with a safety car, and he could be the smartest man in the ring. You never know around this place.
The Possum's actually caught up to Silkweaver here.
He has indeed. He's only half second behind him. What can the Alfa Romeo do with the McLaren? McLaren on a brand new set of mediums. Livid's got 2 laps on his as they come through sector 3. So, can he do anything and get himself on that podium? Possibly even to second place once the Red Bull ahead hits the pit lane. Overlord down to 2.6 seconds on the lead now. Livid's still within DRS range of the car ahead. That's good for him, and he is out of DRS range of the car behind him, which is next Guido. So he's going to close in some time down this front straightaway, running out from behind the McLaren. A bit of a curious strategy, maybe trying to cool the engine and cool the tires a little bit. Trying to keep things up. This is a little bit of time through turns 1 and 2 there. Oh, getting very sideways through 3 and 4. Almost tags the wall there. 5 onto the first of the DRS straights he'll encounter through the lap. Don't think he had DRS that lap. So that helped him there, but he's going to be out of DRS range at the next detection point, which is just a little bit after this roundabout. He's making up a little bit of time here. Not going to be enough, I don't think, for him to get back in. So, closest battle on the track is actually going to be SSR Joe as he attempts to make up for his Xbox crashing. He's got Max Andrew directly in front of him, who just pitted a lap ago for a set of medium tires. So, is Max Andrew going for the one-stop soft to medium strategy? That will be interesting to see how that plays out. As he gets very close to the wall there on the exit of the chicane at the second roundabout. Not going to be under threat from him this time, I don't believe. Don't think Joe. Yep, Joe's going to have DRS, but I think he's going to be way too far back to try anything. Yeah, definitely too far back to try anything here. That would be an absolute kamikaze move. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Overlord has now closed the gap down to Taylor to just 8 tenths, now 6 tenths. He's got DRS down the front straightaway, but he does have to pit again. Taylor will surely know that, and Taylor may just let him breeze on by here on those soft tires and just run his own race. But we will see. These two are going to go head-to-head here down this back straightaway. Overlord with DRS, and he has not pulled out. There he goes, pulling to one side. Taylor covering him off with a tactical drift down the straightaway there. Maybe a bit of a cheeky move there on the part of Mercedes, but all's well and good. Overlord possibly threw it in lean there to stay behind and wait until this opportunity. This is going to be the opportunity. He pulls out before they even get to the DRS zone. Got very close to the wall there. Taylor's going to jump in behind him and try to lose as little time as possible. We got a yellow flag in sector 3. What's going on here? Did Groggy lose? Groggy's lost an end plate and a piece of the wing. So Overlord back into the lead on the soft tire. But Taylor hanging right with him on the hard. through Sector 3. Taylor was stronger here when they were on the same tire. Overload was going to be a little bit quicker through here, but not by a whole lot, really. Holding pretty steady, losing a little bit of time through the sweepers. Got a yellow flag in Sector 1 now as, yes, that was just Groggy, or somebody, possibly, was that Marlon? Yeah, that was Marlon. Having a tough time with things. Did he lose a bit of the wing there? Yep, he did. So that's the second end plate lost for the Williams driver. And now Taylor outside of DRS range as they come onto the second straightaway. So this is where Overlord really has to put the hammer down. He has to start putting seconds a lap. Not half, not 3/4 of a second, seconds a lap between himself and that Mercedes behind. And I just don't know if he can do that, but we're going to see if he can. If he can, that will be the upset of the week. Looking back at next Guido, he is right behind Livid Opossum for 4th place right now on 3-lap older mediums, but he is moving along as Livid gets very sideways through that second roundabout. Coming onto the back straightaway, they are separated by 4/10, running about the same speed out of it. Next Guido has a big run coming here, making up several tenths already. You can just see how powerful that slipstream is, combined with some overtake and some rich mix. Makes it very easy once you get to the DRS zone. And he's got that, oh, and he actually hit Livid and runs deep into the hairpin, knocks Livid's around. So add insult to injury there for Livid Opossum. He was having a fantastic race up there, and then just got pretty much put in the wall right there by the Ferrari in Mexico. So a lot of time lost for him. He's going to have to get a wing change done. Fortunately, though, he is well within what the mediums can do. He was probably going to have to make another stop anyway, I would imagine. And now we got Face Taste, who's on 12-lap-old mediums. This guy was at the back of the grid not too long ago because of a wing change. And, ooh, Livid, very, very late jump into the pits. He actually came to a dead stop there in the pit entry, it looks like. So very, very awkward. We got a yellow flag for, looks like Groggy is around at turn 5 on the back straightaway. He's got back going again, staying out of the way of the guys on the lap ahead of him. So a bit of a, as we got just a bit of changing the wing and everything. Looks like he's serving penalty as well, or? Oh, there it is. That was a flag, is all it was. I was like, what's going on here? And Marlon has spun at the second of the roundabouts in the Williams, running down in 14th. These two, Groggy and Marlon, are just not having a good day right now. Anyway, we got a nice tight fight for 9th place, so this is for points right now. We got Weiser Square on 13-lap-old hards, Joe on 8-lap-old mediums, and DaCosta Browns on 7-lap-old hards right behind these two, all fighting over 9th place. That's worth 2 points. That could be a big deal come the final tally. Oh, a little bit sideways there for DaCosta as he tries to get right up in the middle of this. Weiser looking much quicker than Joe right now, despite the fact he's on older and harder tires. Looking quicker than the Haas in front of him right now. He's going to have DRS coming down the straightaway. What does he do? Is he going to go left or right? Is he going to go left or right? He's going to go for the inside move as they get up to the hairpin. And down the inside, he's in front. He locks everything up. And the Haas is going to switch back, and that's going to let the Red Bull DaCosta Browns through as well into 10th place and into the points. So went for the move, ended up costing him big time as we now have a yellow flag in Sector 3. Looks like Marlon is out of the race. Looks like he has retired in the pits, it looks like. So, deciding to park the car and put it on the bus to get back going to Shanghai for the Williams driver. Not the day he was looking for when the night started. And let's just take a second and brag on these two Racing Point drivers for a second. They are just quietly moving along in 5th and 6th. Boosler not really had a ton of pace this whole race compared to some of the other guys. Not really made a lot of noise, but he is just quietly moving along as we got a car around. Looks like that's Weiser again. Yep, another Williams around at turn 3 and 4 there. Still got a fight going on here between Joe and DaCosta. DaCosta's going to get ahead of Joe. Maybe, nope. Joe muscles him out a little bit there, actually, coming into the second roundabout. But DaCosta's having none of it. He's like, no. This is my position. Oh, and they make contact, and they're both on the wall! Unbelievable! Wow! Unbelievable. So, wind damage on Joe's car. What about DaCosta? DaCosta absolutely has to be fuming with that. He's got wind damage also in the Red Bull. I kind of got to say that was a little bit of a sketchy place to try and go side by side. Kind of got to think that maybe one of them should have backed off a little there. As Weiser Square is actually now behind Joe. Joe lets him through. And Livid Opossum just pitted. He's up in a ninth, so he's got about 12 seconds worth of clear air in front of him to try and make time to the end of the race. He should be moving quite a bit, but it'll be questionable whether he can actually catch up the cars in front. Loki's pitting in front of him for a new set of softs and all things. So Loki's going to be moving for a couple of laps here.
Looks like just about an 11-second gap now in Overlord and
Loki's
Taylor.
Going to come out. Yep, Loki's going to come out just in front of Livid Opossum to the tune of about 3 seconds. So he should be able to rocket off into the distance with those soft tires and hopefully hang on to things at the end of the race. Meanwhile, looking back up front, Overlord has made his second pit stop. He is about 10 seconds and a little bit of change behind the race lead. Let's see what he can do here. He may still have a chance at Taylor. He made hay while the sun was shining on those soft tires. Looks like he pulled a little bit of a gap, and now he is actually only about 1.7 seconds off of Silkweaver, who is on 5-lap older mediums than the Red Bull. So let's see what he can do here at the end of the race. Meanwhile, Max Guido about 4 seconds further back on 11-lap old. He's coming to the pits for his second pit stop. What is Face Taste going to do? He's got his teammate all over the back of him. I think Face Taste has got to hit the pit lane. He's on 15-lap old mediums. Come on into the pits and just throw on a set of softs on. He does, in fact, head for the pits. What does he put on? As Guido hits the pit, Guido's going to get a wing change. He's going to go for the soft tire here. What does Face Taste go for? As Overlord is actually closed up on the back of Silkweaver. Silkweaver's having a very nice, consistent race. He's about 7 seconds off the lead, but he is gaining on Taylor. He's on 3-lap newer mediums, and that is going to help him. Silkweaver may still have a shot at this, because like I said earlier, I don't know that Taylor actually served that penalty. So
yeah, I don't believe he did.
So if Silkweaver can get within 5 seconds of the car in front, which on 3-lap newer tires of a softer compound shouldn't be too big of an ask, but Overlord's going to go for the move, and I think Overlord's going to make this very easy around the outside. He does, in fact, well before the hairpin. Silkweaver just falls in line behind. Silkweaver running on a little bit less ERS as well than the Red Bull. So Overlord now down to 6.4 seconds. Has Overlord made an IQ 200 move here, going for the 2-stop? Because he is the fastest man in Vietnam right now by a long way. And he is just reeling Taylor in right now.
Yeah, you know, I think other than that penalty, it would have been a good race here, but Overlord just really showing the pace with that 2-stop, and if he can keep it clean here, I definitely think it'll, I mean, by the looks of things, it should definitely work out for him.
Indeed. New fastest lap for Overlord at 1:37.144 as we look at the two Ferraris now fighting over 5th place. Guido's just come out on a new set of softs, and he is all over the back of his teammate for 5th place. Andrew's going to the end on those mediums, I believe. Is Guido going to be patient with his teammate, or is he going to be like, no, let me by. I got pace. I need to use these tires now. He is, in fact, going to... Oh, he took a look there. Decided to think better of it. Same thing behind them. Face Taste is right on the back of Loki. They're both on brand new softs. Is Face Taste going to, as looks like, yeah, Boosler has hit the pit lane for a new set of soft as well. So he is going to come out a decent ways behind. He's actually going to come out behind Livid. Depending upon where the pit lane feeds out, is he going to beat the Alpha out? He is going to beat the Alpha out, so that's going to give him clean track. And he's on 1 lap fresher tires than both the cars ahead of him. So that could pay dividends a little bit because he's only about 4 seconds back of them right now. So that could pay dividends for him as this race drags on a little bit. Loki defending from Face Taste, trying not to let him through, trying not to give up the position to the guy in the Pink Panther behind him. He's going to have DRS, though, on him this lap down the back straightaway. Looking back up the front, Overlord's down to 2.5 seconds on Loki, 2.7 seconds now.
Taylor
as
pit.
they look to be... Did Taylor hit the pits? Very interesting move. Maybe realizing that he's going to lose that position anyway, he is possibly going to go to the set of softs. No, he's getting a wing change. He got big damage on the wing there.
And
he's serving a 5-second penalty now. So, Taylor, really, honestly, I would have probably just said stay out there and deal with it at that point, knowing that you're going to have that long of a stop. He's only going to drop to third, though, so that's the good news for the Mercedes driver, because the two Ferraris behind him, they're a long way back. Taylor's almost to the pit exit line as Guido now comes down the front straightaway. He will exit in front of the Ferrari pretty easily here. Taking a little liberal with the pit exit line there, but okay. A little bit on the liberal side with the track limits on the pit exit there. As Andrew has now also pitted for a new set of softs. Well clear of Weiser Square, so he's going to come out in 9th place behind the Livid Opossum, only about 5 or so seconds back. So what can he do against the Alfa Romeo on the hard tire in front of him? Looks like Face Taste still all over the back of Loki. He's a lot closer this time coming through the second. Oh, we get a little sideways right there coming onto the back straightaway. That's going to cost him a little bit of pace, but he's only half second back. He can still make this work. Costa Browns gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in pit lane, just adding insult to injury on his day. His day went from good to bad to worse, but we look at Face Taste. Is he going to make the move on Loki? He's going to go to the outside. Pretty even through the hairpin, and he is going to get just a little bit ahead. He's going to clear the Renault coming down to start sector 3. Great move around the outside from the Racing Point driver. His teammate closing up on these two all the time because they're fighting. And oh, did Boosler? No, I thought he went very wide there, but I think he maybe just had a little bit of a lockup and slid wide or something of that nature, because I saw him go completely off camera there just momentarily. But he is closing up on these two a little bit at a time here. His tires just being a little bit fresher is going to make a big difference here in about a lap and a half. Loki still within DRS range. We are up to 61 viewers, folks. Keep it going. I think we might set a BRL record here in just a hot minute if y'all keep that up. Invite your friends, get them all on here, because this is heating up for 5th place right now. Loki still within DRS range. He's going to have it down this straightaway. There it is. Opens the rear wing. Down the back straightaway towards the start of sector 2 and that chicane and second roundabout. Closing up a little bit. He's got to have a good run through here or else it's over for him. He's not going to be able to hang on the back of that Racing Point. It's a little bit of curb right there. Face Taste as well getting a little bit of curb onto the back straightaway. Face Taste got a much better run. Actually, no, Loki, they got about the same run. It looked like he yarded him a little bit, and Loki's got everything turned up. He's going to be within DRS range here. Rear wing flap pops open on that back straightaway. He's going to be closing up on one Racing Point while the other one is closing up on him. So, Loki caught in a Racing Point sandwich right now. Is he going to get himself out of that jam? We got a yellow flag in sector 2. It looks like Livid Opossum. He has lost another piece of wing.
Safety car.
What happened? We have a safety car with 5 laps to go, folks. Throw the book out the window. Everybody is going to hit the pit lane. If they got soft tires, they're going to use them. The guys who just pitted they possibly might be in the catbird seat here. Where are the leaders? Taylor's the first guy on softs, and we know he is going a bit quicker than the 2 cars in front of him. Overlord and Silkweaver get to go by the safety car. So is this race going to end on a 1-lap shootout? What happened? So what exactly happened here? Because we got a car.
Didn't quite catch it.
No, that's the safety car. The safety car is sitting on the second straightaway, waiting to pick up the leader. You can see it here as we go on board with Face Taste. Just sitting off to the right side of the track there. Folks, again, get your friends in here because this finish is about to absolutely blow the barn door off here in Vietnam. We have a safety car within 5 laps. We have a safety car within 5 laps of the end of the race. This is about to go off.
It's going to be a nice little 2-lap shootout. Taylor playing in a great position, like you said, with the softs there. And after serving his penalty, this is really anybody's race here.
It really is.
Overlord and Silkweaver look like they are going to try and dive into the pits here for the softs, which is good on them.
Yeah, they would be sitting ducks otherwise. The question is, are they going to be able to get out in front of the other drivers behind them? Looks like Overlord is going to be able to do so. I believe Taylor is still coming up towards the pit entrance. He does not dive in. He's got about a 10-second gap back to Max Guido and about an 11-second gap back to Max Space Taste. So it looks like both Silkweaver and Silkweaver might be in a little bit. No, they should both be fine to get out in front of Taylor, but Taylor's streaking past into second as we speak. So can he get in front of the McLaren and possibly challenge Overlord? I don't think he's going to be able to with the tire deg he's got. This is going to be telling. Where does Silkweaver? Silkweaver beats him out of the pits just barely.
So
that was tight. That's some lightning McQueen stuff right there. Ka-chow. And on that note, I'm going to make a joke about my name. A lot of people. So my first name is Owen. My last name is Williams. A lot of people actually mistakenly in my life had referred to me as Owen Wilson. So on that note, wow. Sorry.
Ciao and a wow.
Yep. And this will be interesting because the safety car restart, the pit lane entrance is on the 3rd to last corner, so they're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting to go back green after the safety car pulls off the track. This is going to get intense very quickly. Boosler also on a brand new set of softs down in 7th. So he is going to catch up to the back of these two in front of him. I think he made the IQ play here against his teammate and Loki because they're on 4 and 5 lap old softs and Guido. Possibly even Taylor, because a brand new set of softs is worth a ton around this racetrack. So, I think he has to be a little bit careful, but at the same time, he's the one holding the cards. Can he snake a podium out of this? Looks like Guido's actually hit the pits. Nope, that was Loki that hit the pits, actually. Loki's in the pits. Interesting move from the Renault driver. He should still come out, I believe, in 7. Possibly. So, again, very smart move from him. So now that puts the 2 racing points nose to tail. Is Face Taste just going to say, yeah, go. You got much better tires. Use them and get around these guys. Or is he going to try and fight his teammate?
Yeah, definitely be interesting to see what the racing points do there, or as you like to call them, the Pink Panthers. But as you were saying, Taylor, yeah, like not going into the pits. I think he was thinking about it and then realized like maybe he could jump him just short of jumping Silkweaver there. I mean, the tires being a little worn, but I think he's definitely still got a great chance of winning this race.
He does, but I think he needs Silkweaver. Silkweaver's on a lap newer set than Overlord, and I think that might be the difference for Silkweaver. If he can make that difference count, it's gonna be very touch and go for these guys here on this safety car restart. I don't even know when this restart's gonna happen. It could happen this lap, it could happen the next lap, it could happen the lap after that, and we have a one-lap shootout. These guys are gonna go absolutely ballistic. You think a 5-lapper public lobby is nuts? You're about to see the craziest VRL finish you have possibly ever seen in your life.
Yeah, I think we're getting the good old-fashioned NASCAR green-white checker here in the F1 here at Vietnam, and you know, it's like as you've been saying, it's going to be absolutely crazy.
You know,
really just
it's gonna be nuts. And sometimes jokes aside, sometimes I'm a bit of a pirate. You know, take what you can get and give nothing back. It's gonna be every single one of these guys' mentalities on this restart. It's gonna be just looking to take what they can get, and damn the consequences. This, once we get back going, which I believe should be this next lap, because the last 2 cars are starting to form up in the queue here. And I'm looking up here, and I'm kind of questioning why Groggy is still between the racing points. Hopefully he'll be asked to, by the game, to pull to one side. Same thing with DaCosta, because they're both behind. DaCosta's behind the top 3. Groggy's behind the top 5 and DaCosta. I'm not particularly fond of having lap cars in the way on a restart.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the game kind of has it like that. I was actually in the shoes of Groggy in Tier 2. Was able to get out of the way as fast as I could, but yeah, it's unfortunate the game kind of puts you in that situation. And as we were talking about everything there, I was looking at the penalties. Top 6 have either nothing at all or 1 warning. I think it's Overlord and Taylor have 1 warning apiece. Everybody else in the top 6 with no warnings at all.
Yeah, it's actually very hard to get track extension and cutting penalties. There's only a couple of places you can do it, namely turns 2 and 3, and then at the chicane at the second roundabout. It's really about the only places you can get them pretty easy. Everywhere else, it's pretty much you have to do it, but you had to purposely try to do it. So, Maverick's laughing out loud at the fact that the safety car with less than 5 to go, because he knows what's about to happen. So, it's probably safety car in this lap. I would imagine the entire field is called up. There it is, safety car in this lap. Before they do this, I'm going to grab a beer because this is just going to be entertaining. This is just going to be entertaining.
Going to grab 2 for me. I'm just kidding.
Oh, Max Andrews, 5-second penalty for severe collision with Livid Opossum. That's going to hurt. Well, actually, no, that'll get removed because he was in front of Livid, so Livid right in the back of him, and he got the penalty. Anyway, here we go.
Whoa.
We are going to...
That's definitely going to be looked at by the stewards. Livid Opossum, I'm going to clip that one. Livid Opossum just absolutely destroyed Andrew there.
Yeah, that'll be something to look at. Anyway, moving back up to the front here, we are going to watch these top 3 very closely. So, Overlord getting a nice little gap to Silkweaver. No DRS here. We got 2 laps to go. This is going to be a straight fight to see who is quicker. Taylor on the oldest tires of the 3. What can he do with the 2 cars in front of him? I think he really needs these 2 to start fighting. As Silkweaver closes up a lot, but then he loses a good bit on the exit of that chicane. What can he do with the car in front? He needs to be a lot closer than this, and he needs to really just throw that thing in rich and go if he wants to try and catch Overlord. He's gaining on him down the straightaway. I think he's running less DRS than the Red Bull in front of him. He's not quite close enough for a move, I don't think. Not this time. He needs to stay close through Sector 3. Taylor's right there as well, being hauled along in the Mercedes. Taylor getting a little bit cleaner exit, not losing any gap to Overlord, but Silkweaver losing about a 10th out of the hairpin. We got a yellow flag down at the hairpin. What is going on down here? Looks like that's cleared itself up. Livid's out of the race. So Taylor looking at the back of that McLaren. He needs to get around that McLaren. He needs to do it now. He needs to get around him on
Joe
the
made
next
a
couple of
mistake.
straightaways. So Joe's out of the race. Overlord resets fast lap of the race at a 1:36.695. So pretty much if you can finish the race at this point, you should be getting points. Because even though DaCosta and Groggy are a lap down, if Joe completed 90% of the race, so I think he might actually be safe there to get 10th and pick up 1 point despite the fact he DNF'd out of the race. We'll have to wait for clarification on that from the stewards and the race officials later. But Silkweaver just about a second behind. He's really not close enough to make anything work. Taylor is all over the back of that McLaren. Is he going to try for a move into the hairpin? Taylor pushing for everything is worth right now. He's really close coming out of that second roundabout onto the back straightaway for the final time. These guys are burning everything to keep the position and get what they can get right now. Taylor's got a little bit of slipstream. Is he going to send it up the inside? No, he is not close enough, I don't think, to make that work. That was probably his last opportunity. Runs a little bit tighter line through the hairpin. Keeps it nice and clean. A little bit of a wiggle there. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. Loki also not able to do anything with Face Taste right in front of him. Face Taste is on 6 lap older soft tires, and Loki can't do anything. Loki picks up a 3-second time penalty, hacking over that curve at the start of Sector 3. Meanwhile, back up at the front of the field, coming around the final couple of corners, he has just seen off all challenges, all adversity. Overlord in the Red Bull is going to come around the final corner here in Vietnam, and he is going to win and reset fast lap in the process. Silkweaver second, Taylor Clan in third, Guido in fifth, Guido in fourth, Boosler in fifth, Face Taste in sixth, Loki in seventh, Weiser in eighth, Andrew in ninth, DaCosta in 10th. So they did get Joe by the end. So DaCosta Browns picks up the final point for Red Bull, his teammate winning the race. That was pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane there at the end. I was very impressed with it. I mean, the pace of Overlord there at the end, obviously with the pressure softs, it was harder for Taylor to get around them, but as Silkweaver ran out there at the end of the straight, but you know, good on him to play it safe, and just a good podium overall for those three drivers.
Well, I think knowing how things have gone with moves like that in the past with the stewards, I think he probably decided to err on the side of caution, because there have been a few moves that were a little bit gruff, shall we say, on the last lap that drew the ire of the stewards and resulted in penalties in the past. So good on him erring on the side of caution and not wanting to annoy the officials, as some of us so often do. Cheeky smile. So there are your results, final race results from the Vietnam Grand Prix here in Hanoi. Overlord in first, fastest lap of the race, made 3 stops, made 1 more stop than the 3 guys behind him actually, and yeah. I can't really say much else about that end of the race than just wow. That is, without a doubt, a lot more intense than it was shaping up to be. So, top 9 on the lead lap, everybody else at least 1 lap down. And Taylor joins the party here for third place man. Make sure you include your audio. And we'll wait on the other 2 to join before the interview process. There's Overlord, our race winner. Now we're just waiting on Silkweaver to join. There he is. All right, so we're going to start with third place man. Oh, Silkweaver left the party. We're going to start with third place man, Taylor Clan, 2008. So Taylor, very close to putting it on pole tonight. Got out in the lead early on with Overlord doing that 2-stop strategy. It just didn't pan out for you at the end there, did it? Overlord was too quick on the he was quick on those softer tires in that 2-stop strategy and was pulling the gap down. You pitted for another set of tires and were behind at that point, and then the safety car came out and he was just far enough ahead to keep the lead. Walk us through your
pretty
night.
much. Describe my race in one word, pretty much just choked. I got wing damage on lap 14, I believe it was. Was losing about half a tenth a lap, or half a second a lap, I mean. So Last thing I could do was pit for softs and hope there's a safety car, which is what happened. But I couldn't be Silk. We were at the pit exit, sadly. So, yeah, good win to Overlord. Good battle with Silk Weaver there in the last 2 laps, but pretty much just rounded off. I choked that 100%.
Well, it was indeed close coming out of the pits between you and Silkweaver there at that safety car. Just a little bit more and you would have had him, but that pit lane exit makes it so easy to retain the position against the guy coming down the front straightaway. He can full on pass you and get to turn 1 well before you do, and then it's just a matter of it's a matter of contention at that point. So moving on to Silkweaver, if he is in here. Yes, I can hear you. Make sure you include your audio. And Toxin, talk to the man.
All right, well, Silk, you know, you had like a kind of weird positioning halfway through that race, and then all of a sudden, like with that safety car and everything, it all like bunched up, and Taylor with that extra pit stop that he had to do and everything, but all of a sudden you were right there. You were catching Overlord a little bit. He started pulling away a little bit, and then that safety car happened. And on the restart there, it looked like Overlord got away from you. Is there anything you want to talk about that? Did you just get a little wheel spin, or he jumped you, or what's up? All right, well, good on you, sir, and great job on that P2, man.
All right, moving on to our race winner tonight. Overlord is the Lord of Vietnam in Tier 3. The man qualified on pole, ran a bit of an unorthodox strategy from what the conventional wisdom has been. In other tiers we have seen, looks like we did not have audio for Silkweaver, so yeah, we'll get back to that in a second. But Overlord had a bit of an unorthodox strategy. The conventional wisdom has been go one stop from soft to hard, and then go to the end of the race, obviously notwithstanding safety cars. But even before that, you ran a bit of an unorthodox strategy, and it was working out for you, going from the soft to the medium or 2 softs and then a medium. What made you decide to go with that strategy?
Well, it happened in lap 1 where I ended up breaking my wing before the S's started, so I planned on doing hards the entire time until that happened. So I tried my best to keep Taylor behind and Silk because they were pretty fast. It was a great race from all of them. So I just planned on getting to the 2 stops, see if I could catch him.
Well, you certainly were catching Taylor. Taylor also chipped his wing and had to pit as well. So it worked out in your favor that both of you did that, because you did it first and were able to take advantage of the softer tires for longer. Walk us through that safety car period. When that came out with about 5 laps to go, what ran through your head?
I wanted it to start already because I didn't want everyone to get behind me because I was scared they're going to get a good run into me to turn 1. I thought I was going to get passed for the lead.
Always a fear when you're the first guy on a safety car restart. You and Silkweaver were both on the medium tires, and you pitted for softs. He almost got jumped by Taylor. Were you possibly were you nervous about Taylor possibly being able to get around him by him making that pit stop and getting right up behind you on the restart?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the entire time when I was in the pits. I was thinking if he gets behind me, this win is definitely in jeopardy.
It is, but you were both on much newer soft tires than Taylor was. Mind you, the soft tire, it doesn't drop off. It drops off pretty quickly, but once it does, it drops off and really just stays at one point. So that's kind of the benefit of the soft tire around here, is it's quick for a couple of laps and then it levels off. Did you think maybe Silkweaver was going to have a lunge there on the penultimate lap.
Oh yeah, 100%. My tires, I tried my best to keep the tires as warm as possible, but I couldn't at the end. And then I got a pretty bad run into turn one, or into before turn one. I didn't want to hit the wall again because I break my wing all the time.
You, me, and everybody else in here can attest to that same. It's a
Yeah.
commonality on street circuits because you guys, as well, most everybody in BRL is a bunch of hard chargers for the most part. You can see a bunch of us wagging the tail of the cars, and in Tier 3 we saw several people. There was one, I think it was one of the racing points or one of the Williams in qualifying, I think. Almost got completely turned around in turns 2 and 3, the long right-hand section at the start of the track. He pretty much drifted that. And I just flat out had no other adjectives to describe it other than just an expletive. Did you have any moments like that where you just were like, wow, I actually was able to hang on to that during the race?
Oh yeah, I was definitely going to probably cry if I hit the wall on that when I was going for a pass. It was definitely really scary, to say the least.
Indeed, with the walls right up next to you. That is all we have time for tonight, folks. This has been Ferrari at 94, and I'm Toxin, doing the broadcast for Tier 3 in Vietnam. We will see you back in 7 days' time for Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix for Tier 3. And we'll see who's been moved around and who's been left alone in their placements after this race. This is the point in the season where if anybody's going to get moved around, they're going to get moved around here. Mostly up instead of down because we have had several people pull out of the top 2 series already. So, with that, thank you. Good night. It's been lovely. 61 viewers maximum tonight. Brilliant amount of people tuning in here. We love you guys, and we'll see you in 7 days' time for the next race. Hopefully, Deer Hunter will be back again. We wish him the best with everything going on in his life right now. Thank you guys, and good night.